of helps teach them, when we talk about the principles of crisis resource management, using cognitive aids is one of those facets. And so during the simulation day, we talk a little bit about cognitive aids, what they are, and how to use them. And we know that if we're more familiar with the setup, that we use them better in a crisis situation. So same thing, hey, maybe I don't use a cognitive aid on a day-to-day basis, but when that crisis happened, wow, I'm really glad that like I've used this before. It's been a couple of months, but like I could flip through it pretty quickly. I could get to the page that I needed to be. I know the format, I know the steps.
But this
That's
can also be a good way to test how effective a cognitive aid is. It may be that someone's produced something, and when you put it into practice, you suddenly realize, oh my God, this is not usable, or it wasn't
Yeah.
obvious where you needed to go.
Amanda, can you explain just quickly what a cognitive aid is in case some of our listeners
Oh,
don't
sure.
are
So
familiar?
cognitive aid is basically like a cheat sheet. So it's kind of going through like the steps, like what do you need to do in sort of in a crisis. So in an example like local anesthetic toxicity, it'll talk about kind of briefly what are some of the signs and symptoms of local anesthetic toxicity. What are the immediate steps, the ABCs that you need to focus on? Stop any local anesthetic infusion. Start to call for help. Call for your intralipid kit, etc. And then what are kind of the secondary, and tertiary steps that you should do as far as stabilization. It's also great for remembering uncommon things in uncommon scenarios. Like the dose of intralipid can be, oof, like in an emergency, this patient's coding in front of me. Like, do I remember, like, what was the dose again? And how do I do the math? He's 67.5 kilos, and if I have to carry the one,
Yeah.
and oh man. So this kind of takes all that math out of it, just makes it really simple because it helps your brain work to its
God, I
best
love a
capability.
math-free formula.
Math
Yeah.
free is great. So
Oh,
it's wonderful. So oftentimes, the one that we use at Duke and the one that I think a lot of institutions use is the Stanford Cognitive Aid that you can Google and download for free online. And it's got some diagnoses like different ACLS algorithms. It's also got hypotension, hypertension, hypoxemia, et cetera, and then specific diagnoses, for example, local anesthetic toxicity.